Hey everybody, it's Michelle and welcome back to Sweet Pea Farm NY. Today I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about something called FAMACHA scoring. It's getting to be that time of year where it's getting hotter in most places and there's a lot of moisture, and parasites is a huge concern when you're raising small ruminants. Sheep or goats, definitely the number one concern when it comes to new sheep and goat owners should be knowledge about parasite control. And I'm a huge advocate for not blanket treating a flock. I don't like just worming everybody regardless of their need for it, because that can build up resistance to the dewormer that you're using. So it's important to know how to detect a situation with parasites before it gets out of hand and fatal, and know how to treat accordingly. So my biggest suggestion is to have a good working relationship with your veterinarian, so that if you do find somebody that needs some treatment, you can take a fecal sample in and get it tested and find out exactly what the problem is. But for the most part in the United States, the biggest problem is generally barber pole worms. You can have issues with coccidia when lambs are under a year old or goats are under a year old, but the biggest concern in general with your flock maintenance is going to be your barber pole worms. So the key to staying on top of that is learning how to do a FAMACHA score diagnosis. And you can take most counties have a local extension office. In New York State, it's through Cornell Cooperative Extension. You can connect with your local extension agent and find a FAMACHA class so that you can go in and learn all the techniques from professionals, and you can then get your own little FAMACHA card, and it tells you, it has the exact pictures of the colors that you're going to use. It's similar to this. I could not find my actual FAMACHA card, but it will be a card that gives you the colors, and you're going to be looking under the eyelids of your sheep or goat herd to see what each animal is looking like. And so it's testing to see how anemic an animal is from the barber pole worm possibly. So if you find an animal that has a high score, like a 5, then you're in big trouble and the animal needs to be treated, because a 5 is really pale. So if you're at a 1 and it's bright red in the membrane underneath the eyeball, then you're in good shape. Even at a 2, still good shape, probably fine. Just, maybe keep an eye on them. Anything 3 and on, you kind of want to get on the ball. Maybe send a fecal test in, or just go ahead and treat depending on what your veterinarian recommends. So there's several dewormers. Again, your vet will tell you what the best schedule is to use, because sometimes they'll suggest you use more than one at a time. Sometimes the vets will suggest that you use a rotation of different dewormers per animal, just to keep the resistance level low. So you want to connect with your veterinarian to get that figured out before too long, and definitely ahead of time, so that you have stuff on hand, because the last thing you want is to find an animal with a problem and not have the right medication on hand. So let's go check out some mucous membranes. You want to do this every couple weeks. You want to check animals that have maybe a concern, and you just want to do it by pulling down their eyelid and checking out their mucous membrane down inside there. So she's kind of palish, probably like a 3. Let's go check another one. So some signs that there could be concern is definitely scours or diarrhea, or poor body condition, which Dipper's never had, but those can be a concern. And she has a nice bright membrane down there, so no worry about her. And parasites, she's good to go. But it's just a good idea to check different animals in your flock. So let's go check a couple more. So this is Darcy. This is Chloe's Oxford. And she's probably about a 2 or a 3. She's pretty good.
A 3.
Under there. So she's a little bit under conditioned, so I might go ahead and treat her if I'm treating others. But you just kind of want to, if you have a big flock, take notes. If you don't, take a mental note, and remember who you want to treat and who you don't. So usually the younger animals in the flock are going to be the bigger... Sorry, Michaela's goat is noisy. The younger animals in the flock are going to be the bigger concern. The first year of their life, for some reason, they just have a higher tendency to be susceptible to parasites. So I watch the lambs much closer than the big flock, unless obviously there's a problem over there. But So I check them probably every week instead of every 2 weeks in the summer, just because they can go downhill super fast. So let's check out, this was a bottle lamb, but she's definitely a 1. She's got nice bright membranes in there, and she looks good, which is great because they've been out on grass a lot. So, oh, you tired? You tired, girl? So you definitely want to do this outside in direct sunlight if you can. Sometimes the smaller guys are harder to check because they're so wiggly, and he's definitely not cooperating. But we did just kind of wrestle him and check him without the camera rolling, and he's fine. He hasn't been out on grass, so not as much concern for picking up parasites. Another tip, yeah, he's good and red. Another tip for keeping them freer of parasites is to not let them out to graze until the dew's off the grass. A lot of times the parasites climb up the grass on the dew, so keeping your animals off the grass until the dew's dry is a good tip to use. So I hope this video has helped you guys get some information about keeping an eye on your herder flock and keeping them free from parasites. They're never really going to be free of parasites, but keep them at a level that is definitely healthy for their GI tract and safe. You don't want to have an animal go downhill and lose them quickly to something that could be prevented. So definitely check out your local extension offices and see if they're having a FAMACHA class nearby, or get on the list for the next one, or ask them if they're willing to hold one. Maybe other people have been asking too. And get that class and get the card just so that you feel comfortable, and then build a plan with your vet so that you have an idea of what to do if you do have a poor score on one of your animals and they're anemic. So I hope this helped you guys out. Have a great rest of your day. Don't forget to click that subscribe button and hit the bell so you get notifications when our next videos come out. Have a great day, guys.